Well, I'm now just about a couple of miles west of Goring and Streatley, and for a moment I have the impression that I've somehow left the Thames and ended up on the Nile, because this is a very odd Egyptian house built as a private home about 10 or so years ago, and it is rather confusing. Well, I don't know if a river can be said to be wealthy, but if it can, then this is where the Thames gets seriously wealthy. I've arrived at the twin villages of Goring and Streatley, one on each side of the river. This is the narrowest part of the Thames Valley, in fact, where the Chilterns meet the Berkshire Downs at the Goring Gap. And there is a lot of money around here. Beautiful properties along the banks of the river. And I rather suspect that from now on, I'm going to be seeing rather a lot of the wealthy river. I've been thinking a lot about Jerome K. Jerome along this stretch of the river. There are perhaps a few more than 3 men on that boat, but this is a stretch of the river very much associated with him and his book. In fact, the 3 men on his boat did get all the way up to Oxford, and then on their way back, this is where they abandoned ship. This is Pangbourne. And just across the river, a little bit further down from here, is Mapledurham House, which is thought to have been the model for Toad Hall, because Kenneth Grahame lived nearby here as well. And this, as well as being 3 men in a boat country, is also Wind in the Willows country. Well, I've now reached rather an important spot on my walk along the river, because this is Reading. And it's important to me for 2 reasons. First, because it means I'm now just over halfway between the source of the river and the London barrier. And second, because this is where I spent part of my childhood. And here at Caversham Bridge was a favourite spot for family walks on a Sunday afternoon along the promenade here. So this is probably where I first met the River Thames as a small child, and it has lots of happy memories for me. Well, it's amazing what a difference just a few miles can make. Leave behind unlovely Reading, and just a couple of miles downstream you come to the very lovely bridge at the village of Sonning. And then a couple more miles downstream you come to Shiplake. Lovely little village where the poet Alfred Lord Tennyson got married in 1850, and where students at the nearby private school Shiplake College can use the lock to practice their rowing skills. And then a couple of miles after Shiplake, it's Henley. Henley as in the Henley Regatta. And this year, the star attraction, the royal barge Gloriana, the star of the Diamond Jubilee last year. Well, as luck would have it, I'm here on the first day of this year's Henley Royal Regatta, and the place is absolutely heaving. I don't think I've ever seen so many striped blazers and funny little fascinators. I've certainly never seen so many glasses of champagne being drunk at 11 o'clock in the morning. This is said to be the longest straight stretch of river in Britain. Over a mile long, perfect for races, of course, and this is where the first Oxford and Cambridge boat race was rowed in 1829. This is Temple Island, with that little temple on it, which marks the start of the regatta races. Originally built as a fishing lodge in 1771. There's a statue of a naked woman inside it, and she's probably got the best view of Henley it's possible to have. Well, I'm on my way now from Henley to Marlow, and I've reached Medmenham Abbey. Originally built in 1201 for Cistercian monks, nothing of that remains. What we have now is an 18th century mansion, best known for having been owned by Sir Francis Dashwood, who is reputed to be the only Chancellor of the Exchequer ever to have admitted delivering a budget speech while drunk. He is also the founder of the Hellfire Club, which gained a substantial amount of notoriety. They used to have secret meetings here at Medmenham Abbey, and they would invite apparently only ladies of a cheerful and lively disposition. Orgies, apparently, were the order of the day. Not anymore, of course. So this is Marlow and the very pretty suspension bridge, built by the same man who built the bridge at Hammersmith, also a suspension bridge, and who used this one as a prototype for the bridge he went on to build across the Danube, linking Buda and Pest in Hungary. A very pretty bridge for a very pretty town.